I'm going to be doing today probably the most work I've ever done on this tractor here because there's some spots in this pasture that I want to level out. It's sort of hard to see on the camera here, but there's this big mound right here, and it goes up like that. It's about 3 or 4 feet off the ground. Kind of hard to see, but you can see how much of the tractor it's covering behind there. And then also over here in the pasture, which is kind of hard to see, there's some pretty big ruts or low spots. And I've been wanting to experiment with overseeding, and so I think I'm going to try to flatten this whole mound out and push all that dirt into the other part of the pasture, just get it all spread out. I've got some seed to put down, and I want to just I'm going to see if putting fresh seed in there where I've flattened it all out makes the pasture be better and less likely to get the thistles in it and things like that. So today I'm just going to spread it all out. Since the forks are already on, I'm going to use the forks to sort of try to pick this all up a little bit. This, you can see right here, I used a shovel and just dug a hole just to see how hard the ground was. This mound is actually pretty hard because it doesn't get a lot of water on it. The water just runs off of it. And over the years, I think it's gotten really hard. I'm hoping that I don't have to take the box blade off and put the backhoe on, because the backhoe goes on the back. And if I have to do that, I'm going to eventually use this box blade to smooth everything out. And so I'd like to be able to just leave it on, use the forks and the bucket to get rid of this big mound here. We'll see if I'm able to do that. If not, I'll have to put the backhoe on, then put the box blade back on after that. I really think I'm probably going to have to backhoe it because this mound is pretty hard, and I don't think that the forks and the bucket will bust it up very easily, but we'll just give it a shot and see what happens. All right, so that worked really good. That worked even a lot better than I thought. Those forks just tore right through it. It didn't end up being very hard. So what I'm gonna do now is since it's so easy to switch the forks in the bucket, I'm gonna go get the bucket, put the bucket on, and then once I got that bucket on, I'll push through this just a little bit, see how that works, and if I need to, I can just put the forks back on real quick and then switch back to the bucket. But I don't think I'm gonna have to put the backhoe on. I'm gonna be able to just use the box blade to scrape all of this flat. Okay, that's working pretty good. It's flattening out pretty quickly. I'm almost ready for the box blade, I think, on this. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop these scarifiers. These are just big, huge ripping hooks. I'm gonna drop those down, and then I'm gonna tilt the bucket or the box blade the way I need to. And I'm gonna start kind of ripping all of that up, loosening that up so I can just pull this dirt over it and then smooth it all out with the box blade. Okay, I just spent a little over an hour just sort of tearing it all up. I feel like I've got it torn up really well. And I'm gonna set the bucket now. Instead of being oriented to dig, I'm gonna tilt it up this way so that it's oriented to spread. And what I'm gonna do is just sort of spread this all out a little bit more. I mean, you can see I've got a lot of big piles that I've left all over the place. So I'm gonna just go back and forth a million times to kind of spread it all out. I was really happy with how it turned out. I thought I got it really nice and smooth, and now it's ready for seed. To do this, I just used one of those little push type fertilizer spreaders, and Gus was quite a great companion on this part. The next stage was to cover it all with straw. The straw protects the seed a little bit, but mostly what it does is it just helps keep the ground wet for longer so that we can let the seeds have the best chance of germinating. This first bale was really quite wet, which made it really hard to spread, way harder than I was anticipating. A friend of mine gave me this straw, and I didn't want to take all of his really good dry straw, so I took a lot of bales that were wet, thinking that, you know, it's going to be on the ground and wet anyway, so I might as well take those ones. But man, it really made it hard to spread it out. And you'll see here in a minute that I switched to a drier bale, and it was a lot easier to spread. Eventually I got some help from my son, and he got a pitchfork and a rake, and we tried all sorts of different ways of spreading this straw out, but in the end we found it was easiest to just pick up a flake, kind of hold it up against your body, and then just move along and flake it off using your hand to kind of vibrate it. It took us a lot longer than I thought, but eventually we got pretty good at it and got it all completed. This pasture seed is a mix of a few different types of grasses, and some of them germinate after 7 days, some after 14 days, and some after 21 days. So we'll have to be a little bit patient, but I'm really excited to see what it looks like when this grass comes up, and hopefully it'll make our pasture be a place that provides our livestock nutrients for many years to come.